Hello and a very warm welcome to Football This Week, your ultimate destination for all things football. I'm your host, Miha Bhardwaj Alter. In each episode, we will take you on a journey through the exhilarating highs and the nail-biting lows of the past week's matches, from the Premier League to La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, Champions League and beyond. We will break down the key moments, dissect the tactics and provide unparalleled insight into the beautiful game. On the show today, we have Kai Damhorst, Senior Head of Media Operations, German Football Association. We've had the pleasure of having him on our shows before. Kai, welcome to the show.
Hi Miha, it's great to see you again. Last time I was with you at the studio, now I'm back in Germany. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Also joining us is Michael Wax. He's a football expert who joins us from Germany as well. Michael, thank you so much for joining us here.
Hi Miha, thank you very much for having me in your show.
Okay, and then there is our very own Kaushik Maulik, who is our expert. He's a football philosopher, an entrepreneur, someone who just loves the beautiful game. Kaushik, hi.
Hi, yeah, thank you for being. And thanks, Kay and Michael.
Okay, so then let's look back on the top results. In today's episode, we will begin with the UEFA Champions League results, and the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League are done and dusted. 8 teams have been filtered to 4 who will now battle for the semi-finals to stake their claim in the all-important grand finale. Let's help you mark your calendars with the dates and the key pointers for the semi-finals. After months of drama and thrilling action, there we have it. The 4 sides advancing to the semi-finals of the Champions League. Real Madrid, Borussia Dortmund, Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich are the last 4 standing. The first leg matches in the Champions League semi-finals will see Bayern Munich host Real Madrid on April 30th and Borussia Dortmund host PSG on May 1st. The second leg will take place on May 7th, where PSG will take on Borussia Dortmund, and on May 8th, Real Madrid will host Bayern Munich. Let's also take a look at how the teams stack up against each other. In semi-final 1 between Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, both teams have faced each other 26 times, with Bayern winning 12 games and Madrid securing 11 wins. 3 games ended in draws. Bayern qualified for the semi-finals after a 3-2 aggregate win against Arsenal. With the tie level at 1-1 after the first leg, Joshua Kimmich scored the decisive goal to send the Bavarians through to the semis. Real Madrid reached the semi-finals, beating Manchester City 4-3 on penalties after the tie was level at 4-4 following the 2 legs. In semi-final 2, Borussia Dortmund will face Paris Saint-Germain. Both teams have faced each other 4 times in the competition, out of which PSG have won 2 and Dortmund has won 1, with 1 match finishing in a draw. PSG qualified for the semi-finals with a 6-4 aggregate win against Barcelona. The Parisians lost the first leg by a 2-3 margin but notched a 4-1 win in the second leg to qualify. Dortmund booked its semis tickets after a 5-4 aggregate win against Atletico Madrid. Dortmund lost 2-1 in the first leg but beat Atletico 4-2 in the return fixture to punch its ticket for the semis. The final will take place at London's Wembley Stadium on 1st of June. All right, now then we have a very strong German flavor on the show, and there is a very strong German flavor in the Champions League semi-finals as well. So let me first congratulate Kai and Michael on seeing 2 German teams in the Champions League, and it's good to see that. For once, we're not seeing any English teams in the semi-finals, Kai.
Thank you very much, Miha. Yes, very, very exciting days for German football. With the spectacular, semi-finals coming up, the chance to repeat the 2013 finals in Wembley between Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund, and that after a very peculiar season with neither Bayern Munich nor Borussia Dortmund in the final of the DFB Pokal in Berlin, and also the first time in 11 years, Bayern Munich not becoming German champion, but Leverkusen. So it's a crazy season for German football, but beautiful, beautiful moment in the Champions League for us.
Okay, so this is going to be Thomas Tuchel versus Carlo Ancelotti. How do you see that panning out? Let me get Michael in this conversation as well. The campaigns for these two teams so far, Michael, who has the edge in that semi-final between Real and Bayern?
Yeah, it's very hard to say. So Manchester City was probably the top favorite for the most of the people, even for me, to be honest. But I'm not sure if Real Madrid should be seen as an easier opponent now. Real Madrid and Bayern Munich are probably two of the most experienced teams at the semi-finals. For Bayern Munich, it is also a chance to end the positive to end the season by a positive winning with the Champions League after failing to win the league title after for the first time after 11 years. Bayern Munich is not on their peak now, but they are usually on the spot in such games.
Okay, now Thomas Müller, he's called this game already one of the biggest games in football, and I think all of us are looking forward to this one, especially in the way Real Madrid beat Manchester City, you know, how they are going to tackle Bayern Munich, a team that has already lost their dominance at home. Kaushik, your thoughts on how this will pan out?
You know, the Bayern and Real, a very close quarter I have seen to them. Both are very close to my heart, and very difficult. But I found one of the statistics for Ancelotti or Tuchel, there's always they are very genius of the coaches, their strategy. But this kind of game, I always felt the important when the home game they play, because the fans have taken a bigger role when Bernabeu and also the Allianz Arena. So I personally felt the fans are very important role, and when they play in home ground, they take the advantage of home ground. Who will be better in the home ground, home turf, home match? They have certainly the advantage to have it. And one important thing I felt this two teams, they have a very good winning legacy, which is very important. And this is always when a Champions League comes in, the winning legacy is always makes a lot of differences on the results. Of course, their strategy, players, all are there. But this kind of competition, both the team have a winning legacy of Champions Leagues. This play a very crucial role, and also both the stadium, which is fantastic for their fans. And I always felt this is one of the integral part, apart from technique, statistics. This will play a major role.
Yeah. You know, the other thing is, I want to see how this battle turns out between Harry Kane and his England teammate Jude Bellingham, Michael.
Yeah, I guess it will be very interesting. So Jude was also part of Borussia Dortmund last season. Yeah, and now they are opponents in the semi-finals, but are team members in the English national team. Yeah, so it will be very interesting. And Kane scores enormous in the German league. So he's really on peak. He's in best form, in best fit right now, and it will be really exciting, I guess.
It will be, because it is between Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. Now, talking about Real Madrid, they should never be underestimated and they should never be written off. Ask Manchester City, who threw everything but the kitchen sink at them in the quarterfinals second leg, and yet they were knocked out of the Champions League. City had 33 shots to Real's 8 and dominated the whole 120 minutes, but failed to capitalize as Real defended deep, attacked on the counter, and showed why they have won this league 14 times. Rodrigo had given Carlo Ancelotti's side the advantage on the night and in the tie with an early goal on the counter-attack. But Kevin De Bruyne's 76th-minute equalizer took the game into extra time, in which neither heavyweight could deliver the knockout blow. Ultimately, Real prevailed over City in the penalties after Bernardo Silva and Mateo Kovacic failed to convert their attempts, with the 14-time champions winning 4-3 in the shootout. It was a sweet revenge for the Spanish club after City ousted them in last year's semi-finals on their way to winning their first title. After capturing their first treble of the Champions League, FA Cup and Premier League titles last season, City appeared to be on track to become the first team in history to claim the 3 titles in back-to-back years. However, Guardiola's men could not finish the task off despite completely dominating Real Madrid. The Spanish giants showed once again that their strength lies in their ability to find a way to get the job done.
Okay, let me go to Kai on this one. How does one explain this result, especially in the way Manchester City dominated throughout the 120 minutes and then came penalties? It's almost like Ancelotti knew what to do against Manchester City. He planned it to the T and executed it perfectly.
Absolutely. Manchester City obviously played the much more beautiful football. But Real Madrid, they are just phenomenal. They're just like a chess game. Ancelotti knew exactly how to play this. And I had a feeling, I was watching it, and I had a feeling Madrid is actually trying to go to penalties and they're going to go through. It was quite clear to me. But maybe one thing I might add, of course, I watch everything through the German lens. I have to. So, and in light of the upcoming Euro 2024 in our home country, it's of course beautiful to have the Bayern Munich players go through, to have Borussia Dortmund players go through, to have Toni Kroos and Antonio Rüdiger at Real Madrid, Rüdiger scoring the winner on penalty, going through. We just had the news release, Julian Nagelsmann, our coach, is staying for the national team. So I think, you know, all of that is taking care of a lot of enthusiasm right now in light of the upcoming European Championships.
Yeah, it is true. And, you know, it'll be also interesting to see how 2 ex-Bayern players play against Real Madrid and Toni Kroos and David Alaba. But yes, coming back to this game between Manchester City and Real, you know, at the end of the day, Kaushik, it comes down to getting the job done. And Real Madrid know how to get the job done.
You know, always, I told you, this kind of big, their legacy sometimes works well. Real Madrid is a bigger legacy on football history. And sometimes when a very close match like Manchester City and also Real, but Real has a more legacy of this as a footballing brand or footballing culture, which taken care of them. And they play for the, you know, when there's Real always had a very successful legacy in the Champions League. And Ancelotti is a master strategist. He exactly what Kay said, he exactly know what to do. Put him them and run back the way. But I'm really one thing I'm happy because I'm a very good fan of personally to Toni Kroos. I seen Toni grow when he came to Kolkata, you know, when he was young. So he's a phenomenal. So it's good to see the 2 Germans deciding and playing a very crucial role again before the World Cup, this Euro Cup comes in. What Kay is rightly said. And also a good news for German football, the Nagelsmann also extended his contract. So it'll be a really, really good moment for German football till now.
Okay, Michael, I want to ask you this. How does one explain how Bernardo Silva missed that penalty? What happened there? Was it he just froze? Was it, you know, the delay in taking the penalty because the ball went into the crowd and by the time they got the ball back, you know, they all have a routine. It was just shocking, that penalty miss. And of course, Luka Modric was the happiest man there.
Yes, for sure. I guess this could have an influence on that. But it seems to me that the goalkeeper from Real Madrid had really a clear plan to do that. Yeah. And as we can see in a lot of penalties, to strike into the middle, I guess, is probably way. So as a goalkeeper, I would choose to stay for 1 or 2 times during the penalties. Yeah, why not? And it's, yeah, as a result, you see, he could clear the penalty. Yeah.
Okay. Then let's talk about the other game, which was Bayern Munich winning in the quarterfinals, having lost the Bundesliga after 11 years of domination. German giants Bayern Munich are looking to avoid a trophyless season, and their eyes are on the precious Champions League title. Bayern beat Arsenal with a brilliant Joshua Kimmich header to advance to the semi-finals with a 3-2 victory on aggregate.
After a 2-2 tie in the first leg played in London, the Bavarians were put in the lead by Joshua Kimmich's strong header in the 63rd minute, which came off a Rafael Guerreiro's cross. Arsenal was certain they would advance against Bayern Munich, who had a disappointing domestic season. This was despite Arsenal hosting the match at the Emirates Stadium. Stan Kroenke, the owner of Arsenal, watched the closely contested second leg. In the first half, Gabriel Martinelli wasted the Gunners' finest chance, while Manuel Neuer stopped a diverted attempt from Martin Odegaard. Though there were few opportunities, there was more activity in the second half as Leon Goretzka struck the post and Raya stopped Guerreiro's subsequent attempt from crossing the line. But Kimmich's game-winning header sealed Arsenal's destiny and extended their wait for a first-ever Champions League crown.
Right, let me go across to Kai. Kai, how do you see Bayern's performance in this one? Defensive, but in the end, it did the job.
An amazing performance by Bayern in both matches. It almost seems like there's two different Bayern Munichs, one in the league and one in the Champions League. Maybe the floodlights of European glory bring everything out of them. And the Champions League, as rightfully you said in the piece, is the only way in the final chance to put a silver lining on the whole season. It's already decided that the coach Thomas Tuchel will leave the club, but all the players will pull themselves up by the bootstrap, and they think they will really go hard to try to advance to the final.
Now, Tuchel's been preaching fast and fluid football. Kaushik, I want to talk about what Kai said about how it's almost like there are two different teams when it comes to the club, the domestic league, and then the Champions League. How much of the fact that Bayern's dominance has ended after 11 years will impact their performance in the Champions League going forward?
As along my experience with Bayern and the Bayern philosophy and Bayern, how they react, this is the first time they last 11 years their dominance somebody has challenged. And definitely this is the biggest motivation factor entire Bayern, and which will infected their results. We have seen it. I'm pretty sure after 11 years of dominance in Bundesliga, they're not get this time. But this Champions League is for them to give the glory back. They will do everything in the players, fans. They want everything to make it happen. I'm pretty sure the Bayern players, the Bayern officials, every Bayern who lives, which is they after 11 years of their dominance over in Bundesliga and also FOOBALL, they are ousted in second rounds. And absolutely KSI, the different Bayern you will see in the Champions League. And I'm pretty sure they are really, and I believe in I have seen the Bayern's the last 15 years, how the Bayern's culture. They do something in Champions League, trust me, and maybe they can get the crown too. And they are, they never believe they are lost in the Bundesliga. And they get, because they always, everyone in Bayern believe they are the best.
Yeah.
And that motivates them. And this Champions League is their only chance to this season's disastrous performance in League and FOOBALL. And I'm pretty sure Tuchel also a very good coach, and he has a very good legacy of Champions League to be winning that. So I'm pretty sure the Bayern have really a fantastic opportunity to make a final, and maybe they can win the championship.
And how much will this come down to how Harry Kane performs for this team, Michael, given that he's not won a major trophy in his career, and having gone from Tottenham to Bayern now, and already I know that there were people talking about, now that he's reached Bayern, Bayern's dominance has ended. I'm sure it's something that he's put at the back of his mind. But how dependent are Bayern right now on Harry Kane and his performance in this Champions League?
Oh, I guess we see that every game, even in the German league. So Harry Kane is absolutely the spot in Bayern's game, and game plan. And he scores a lot, and he is a scoring machine, also in Germany. So I guess he is really the spotlight in the game of Thomas Tuchel, and he did a masterpiece, I guess, in the game against, or in the matches against Arsenal. So in the first game, Bayern was really focused on counter attacks with an extremely strong performance of Leroy Sané in cooperation with Harry Kane, and they made the difference in the first game, and Bayern were clearly the stronger team in the second match. So Harry Kane, I guess, has a tough time now in Germany for sure, because of because the dominance is gone now from Bayern in the German league. But I'm really confident that next year they will strike back stronger.
Okay, now
and they have big plans. The Champions League already. So let's see.
Let's see. But what we are seeing already is that it could be shaping up to be an all-German final, as it was, as Kay said, in 2013 when the Bavarians defeated their rivals 2-1. But for that to happen, Bayern will still have to get past Real Madrid, and Dortmund will need to beat Paris Saint-Germain. Let's take a look at what happened in the quarterfinals between Dortmund and Atletico Madrid.
They had lost the first leg 2-1 in Madrid, but Dortmund made a remarkable comeback in the second leg as Julian Brandt gave them the lead in the 34th minute, which tied the overall score for Dortmund. 5 minutes later, Ian Maatsen scored a beautiful goal that went into the bottom corner of the far post after cutting in from the left. This put Dortmund in the lead, but Atletico Madrid made it 2-1 on the night and 3-3 on aggregate when Mario Hermoso's header deflected in of Dortmund defender Mats Hummels shortly after the restart. Angel Correa then made it 4-3 aggregate when he smashed in from close range in the 64th minute. But Dortmund levelled once again with a spectacular looping header from striker Niklas Füllkrug. The score was tied once more. Marcel Sabitzer then struck the winning goal in front of a delighted crowd 3 minutes later.
Now, a lot of people will say, Kai, that Borussia Dortmund were lucky in the way they went about their Champions League campaign. Would you agree? Or you don't believe in luck at all?
I don't certainly agree. I believe Borussia Dortmund played a fantastic Champions League quarterfinals. It's a little similar to the Bayern story, where Borussia Dortmund had a poor, or is having a poor season in Bundesliga. They get eliminated quickly from the cup, but under the Champions League floodlights, they come out stronger. So I believe they deserve their place in the semi-finals, and of course, fingers crossed for the semi-final against Paris Saint-Germain.
Okay, I've got to ask this, Kaushik. How happy will they be with Sabitzer? I mean, he'd not scored a goal, wasn't great in the last 11 games that he played, and suddenly in the last 2, he scored, he's been assisting.
That's the beauty of football, and that's the belief the coach and the management staff on him. And he's really a fantastic player. He could have changed the game any moment of time. And it happens in a big scenario like Champions Leagues and all the stuff. They're always a talented big player. They want to show their best. And this happened, and also Borussia is also very long. What KS said, this Dortmund and Bayern, these two clubs are very dominant in their German league always for the last decade. And particularly this year, they have not raised their standard in even the Pokal and also in German League too. So they have all the players, they want, all the coach, everyone wants to show this is their opportunity to show the world they are still their leaders, and that give them their own glory, to showcasing their glory. And Champions League is a platform for every player, because Euro is coming up. Every player wants to show what they have, because this is the platform, phenomenal fan, one of the best platforms in the world to showcase their talent, and everyone wants to prove that. Like if you say, when we are discussing about the Harry Kane, he not own a major trophy, but now for him, one of the reasons he came to Bayern was to get a more Champions League flavor. And I'm pretty sure the wish of Harry Kane and have seemed like Messi in the World Cup, the last World Cup. They both has determined to do something. After my emotional feeling about the football and about know those players a little bit in close quarter.
Okay, what we're going to do is, with that, we're going to slip into a short break. But when we come back, it is going to be Mbappe versus Julian Brandt. Who will do better? How will Borussia keep Mbappe quiet in their semi-finals? That and more when we return. Stay with us.
Why is the state not looking at putting an embargo on that?
As a Telangana person, I will not accept.
How do ordinary folks deal with this?
Film and entertainment is definitely one of the levers for any country to build its brand.
We are getting global. I feel that we're just on the takeoff.
More and more films are becoming language agnostic.
Content is a universal language.
There's one audience in the world.
Absolutely. End of the day, we all are like brothers who have mutual respect for each other from a different land.
Watch Allu Arjun on Duologue with Barun Das. Streaming on News9 Plus.
India produces between 1,500 and 2,000 films every year, the highest for any country. But they get ignored at international awards.
The Oscars are basically American national awards for themselves.
You're not going to be able to make a better pizza than an Italian chef. You're not going to be able to make a better sushi.